Dear students, this is our 12th lecture on molecular rearrangements, and today we will be discussing Claisen rearrangement. The Claisen rearrangement is about conversion of one type of allyl vinyl ethers through 3,3 sigma-tropic rearrangement to give us gamma delta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. And here breaking of carbon-carbon bond and formation of a new carbon-carbon bond takes place in this type of rearrangement, and it was discovered by R.L. Claisen. That is why this is known as Claisen rearrangement. For example, these types of substrates, this is allyl vinyl ethers. So this is allyl group, this is vinyl group, and oxygen is there. So these are allyl vinyl ethers, and this X may be carbon or this may be hydrogen. So that means unsubstituted allyl vinyl ether when X is hydrogen, or it may be some heterocyclic compound like oxygen or nitrogen. So any substitution on this is possible, either carbon or hydrogen or oxygen or nitrogen. And what happens is that this, in a concerted manner, this bond shifts to this position, this carbon oxygen bond breaks, this is shifted to this place, and this bond will form a carbon-carbon double bond. So this is how the allyl vinyl ethers, they are converted into these types of unsaturated carbonyl compounds, and we can see over here that these are gamma delta unsaturated carbonyl compound. This carbon which is next to carbonyl is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon, this is gamma carbon, and this is delta carbon. So that is why these are called as gamma delta unsaturated carbonyl compounds as the product. Now the formation of these gamma delta unsaturated carbonyl compounds, as you know, the reaction will be thermodynamic in nature, that is more stable product will be formed. And here what happens is there is a carbon oxygen pi bond is formed, because this pi bond shifts to this place. That means one carbon oxygen pi bond is formed, and this carbon oxygen bond break, and new sigma bond, carbon carbon sigma bond is formed. Now as far as this substrate is concerned, the amount of energy required to go into this transition state is about 30 kilocalories per mole, and this product form, that is gamma delta unsaturated carbonyl compound, is even stabilized by more energy, that is of the order of approximately 20 kilocalorie per mole of energy is by which this substrate, this product is stabilized from the reactant. So that is why in terms of thermodynamics also there is a driving force to get the conversion of this substrate into this type of product. Now if this X over here is replaced by from H by some heteroatom, say this is either OH or O alkyl, then the exothermic nature of the reaction, it increases, and the energy of activation, that is amount of energy required to get it converted into the product also reduces from 30 kilocalorie per moles to 20 kilocalorie per mole. and likewise the exothermicity of this reaction also increases from 20 kilocalorie per mole to 30 kilocalorie per mole. So this product is more stabilized than the substrate by 10 kilocalories if we compare with the substrate where this X is equal to H or where X is equal to a heteroatom. So the replacement of this X from H to any other heteroatom will lead to higher exothermicity of the reaction. So that means the product formation will be more easier. Then stereoselective nature of this Claisen rearrangement can be proved if we use different type of olefins. Say the substrate which we are using, they are endocyclic. Endocyclic means this carbon-carbon double bond is present within the ring. So these are endocyclic olefins. When these are taken as substrate, overall this is allyl vinyl ether. So this part is the substrate for Claisen rearrangement, but here the olefin which we are using is an endocyclic olefin, and the reaction will take place at this temperature, and the diastereoisomers which will be formed, they will be of the order of 87 to 13%, and the reaction takes place by through chair intermediates. So the ratio of these two diastereomer forms in this case is 87 to 13, whereas if we take exocyclic olefins as the substrate, like in this case here this carbon-carbon bond is outside this ring. So this is an example of exocyclic olefin. So here also this is allyl part, this is vinyl part. So allyl vinyl ether. So this is our substrate for Claisen rearrangement, and when Claisen rearrangement take place through 3,3 sigma tropic rearrangement, then these types of two products they will be formed. So in this case this allyl group is axial, whereas in this case the allyl group is equatorial. So other ester part here it is equatorial, here ester part is axial. So this is the difference between these two stereoisomers or diastereomers. The ratio here is 52 to 48%. So we can see that stereoselectivity also very much depends upon the type of substrate which we are using. Either we are using endocyclic olefins or we are using exocyclic olefins. Then stereoselectivity is further dependent upon the type of substituents which are present. So when this R group which is present on the allyl vinyl ethers, that is present in pseudo equatorial position. For example, if you see this structure, this is a pseudo equatorial position, whereas here the R group is in the axial position. So this pseudo equatorial position will lead to the formation of this anisomer, that is E isomer will be formed. If the reaction takes place through this stereochemistry, when R group is in axial position, then we will get the Z isomer of gamma delta carbonyl compound. So depending upon the position of the R group, we will have the percentage of E or Z isomers. So further, if there are more number of R's, that is there are extra substituents, the diastereoselectivity also increases. More the number of R groups, higher will be the diastereoselection of the product formed. For example, if we are having this type of allyl vinyl ether at 110 degree centigrade, this will give us these two types of isomers, E configuration and Z configuration. So as I have told you, this is E, this is Z, so that means here the R group will be in pseudo equatorial position, and here the R group will be in the axial position. And we can see over here that if this R is methyl and R dash is ethyl, then this product where the R groups, they are in pseudo equatorial position, they are formed in more amount, that is E to Z ratio is 90 to 10%. And as we increase the size of this R dash, the ratio increases, the ratio of E to Z formation also increases. So when this R dash becomes isopropyl, then it becomes 93 to 7%. Similarly, if both are same, ethyl and ethyl, again this is 90 to 10. So the formation of E product is preferred because here the substituents, they are present in the pseudo equatorial position. Then as you know that this X also increases or decreases the rate of the reaction, and this also affects the selectivity of the chelation rearrangement. For example, if the X is a smaller group, then selectivity will be lesser, and as this X becomes larger, the selectivity also increases. For example, you can see over here, when X is H, the selectivity is 90 to 10%, but if we change X from H to methyl, the selectivity increases of the order of 99 to 1%. If it is methoxy, again 99 to 1%, and then dimethyl 98 to 2%. So as we increase the size of the X, the selectivity of the product formation increases, and those products, they are preferably formed where the substituent groups, these are the substituent groups, and X, they are in equatorial position or pseudo equatorial position, and those products, they are formed in less quantity where the substituents or the X group, they are in axial position. Because of the interaction of the substituent with the X group, the lesser amount of that Z isomer is formed. Then types of chelation rearrangement. There are many variations of chelation rearrangement which have been reported over the years. Most important among these is aromatic chelation rearrangement, Ballast chelation, Eschen-Moser chelation rearrangement, Ireland chelation, then Johnson chelation, photochelation. Photochelation is same as chelation rearrangement, except that instead of thermal conditions, the reaction is taking place under photochemical conditions. So this is the only difference. Otherwise, there is no variation in the photochelation rearrangement. Then acylation rearrangement, then Chen-Map reaction. This is also a variation of chelation rearrangement. Then there is Overman rearrangement. This is again a modification of chelation rearrangement. Then Zwitter-Einecke chelation rearrangement. This is also one more variation of chelation rearrangement. So we will discuss these with some examples one by one. First is aromatic chelation rearrangement. This is the example. Most common example is conversion of allyl phenyl ether. So this is allyl part, this is phenyl, allyl, phenyl ether. So when these are heated through this intermediate, that is a ketone, they are converted into these types of ortho substituted phenols. So again, this is an example of 3,3 sigmatropic rearrangement. The mechanism is same as we have discussed in the Claisen rearrangement. Only difference is there vinyl group was involved, here phenyl group is involved in the first step. So what happens is this bond shifts to this place, this will create this carbon oxygen double bond, this bond will form a carbon carbon bond at this place, and this double bond is shifted to this place, and we will get this type of intermediate, and then hydrogen from here will be get shifted from this place to this oxygen, and here double bond will be created, and here this carbon oxygen double bond will become phenolic OH. So this is how this will be converted into ortho substituted phenols as the product. And in case of aromatic Claisen rearrangement, meta substitution affects the regioselectivity in case of aromatic Claisen rearrangement. Now if at the meta position we are having electron withdrawing groups such as bromide or any other electron withdrawing group, then the rearrangement will take place mainly at ortho position. That means we will get major product will be the ortho product. So for example, this one here, the major product will be only the ortho product when the electron withdrawing group is present at the meta position. But if at the meta position we are having electron donating group such as methoxy or methyl or any other electron losing group, then we will get para product as the major product, that is 69% of the product formed will be the para product. So this is the difference between the selectivity, regioselectivity when there is meta substitution at the allyl phenyl ether. Similarly, if the ortho substituents they are present in the allyl phenyl ether, then exclusively we will get para products as the major products. So for example, when these ortho substituted allyl phenyl ethers they are heated, first we will get these types of intermediates where this allyl group will get attached to the ortho position, and then in the next step this will change to the para position, and after the final product formation we will get para products as the final aromatic Claisen rearrangement products. The next is ballast Claisen rearrangement. Here the allyl ethers, amines, thioethers, they react with ketenes. So this X is oxygen if we are having this is allyl group. If X is oxygen, then we will get allylic ethers as the substrate. When X is NH, that means allylic amines are the substrate. When X is sulfur, that means allylic thioethers they are the substrate. So X is either oxygen or nitrogen or sulfur. So when these are reacted with ketenes, then through these types of intermediates we will get gamma delta unsaturated esters as the product. So ethers they will give us alpha beta unsaturated esters, allylic amines, they will give gamma delta unsaturated amides as the products, and allylic thioethers, they will give us thioesters as the product. And this transformation was reported by Ballas in 1979, and the first reaction which he performed was the synthesis of a key intermediate in the synthesis of insecticide pyrethroid. So when he used one of the step as chelation rearrangement, that was called as Ballas chelation rearrangement. And the halos, if this R1 or R2, they are halogens, then these ketenes, they have high electrophilicity and rate of reaction is more. And you can see over here that these allylic ethers or amines or thioethers, they lead to the formation of ring expanded products. The higher ring products, they are formed through these types of rearrangement reactions, the Ballas chelation rearrangement. Then Eschen-Moser's chelation rearrangement, this is present in case of allylic alcohols. When allylic alcohols, they are reacted with N and dimethyl estamide dimethyl acetate as one of the substrate. These will react with the allylic alcohol to give us these types of intermediates. These are basically allyl vinyl amines as the intermediates, and these through the concerted mechanism will get converted into these types of gamma delta unsaturated amides as the product. Basically what happens is, this will go to this place to form a carbon-carbon bond. This pi bond will shift to this position, this bond will break to create a carbon-oxygen double bond, and this is how these types of allylic vinylic amine ethers, they are converted into gamma delta unsaturated amides as the product. So mechanism of this reaction is, this lone pair present on nitrogen will create a carbon nitrogen double bond with the removal of methoxy ion. Then this positively charged nitrogen will create a more electrophilic carbon at this place, which will be attacked by the allylic alcohol, and we will get this type of intermediate from where this hydrogen will be shifted to neutralize the positive charge on this oxygen. Then this proton will become an acidic proton, and this will be removed to give us these types of intermediates. This intermediate, allyl vinylamine ether intermediate, which will undergo rearrangement, as I have told you, on heating to give us the final product, that is gamma delta unsaturated amides as the product. And this reaction was first developed by Albert Eschen-Moser in 1964, when he used this for the synthesis of a key step in the total synthesis of morphine. So this one step was used in the synthesis of morphine as one of the steps. The next is Ireland chelation rearrangement. Here what happens is that our X is carboxylate group. So when allylic carboxylates, this is allyl group and this is carboxylate group. So when allyl carboxylates, they are treated with strong base such as lithium diisopropylamide in trimethyl chloride as a co-reagent. They are converted into gamma delta unsaturated carboxylic acids as the product through chelation type of rearrangement, and such conversion of allylic carboxylates into gamma delta gamma delta unsaturated carboxylic acids is known as Ireland chelation rearrangement. And this rearrangement proceeds via this type of silyl ketene acetal as the intermediate. So here basically this trimethylsilane, this gets attached to this oxygen, and then the formation of carbon-carbon bond over here with the elimination of this TMS on hydrolysis. This goes to this place to create a keto group, and this bond breaks to give you carbon-carbon double bond. So this is how we will get gamma delta unsaturated carboxylic acids. And this E and Z silyl ketene acetals, they lead to either anti or syn products depending upon the type of geometry of these silyl ketene acetals which are formed during the reaction as intermediate. So for example, if we are having this type of carboxylate, when this is reacted with trimethyl silyl chloride and LDA, and if the ketene silyl ketene acetal formed has E configuration like this, that methyl group is in axial position and this is also in axial position. So this chair configuration will lead to the formation of an anti-product. Anti-carboxylic acid will be formed, whereas if the intermediate formed is having Z configuration, that is this silyl trialkyl silyl group that is present in the axial position, and the methyl group is present in the equatorial position, then this will be transformed into this type of product, that is syn product. So depending upon the configuration of the intermediate, we will get either anti or syn carboxylic acids as the product of Ireland chelation rearrangement. The next is Johnson chelation rearrangement, and here the allylic alcohols, they react with orthoesters to give us gamma delta unsaturated carboxylic esters as the product. So allylic alcohols, they are converted into esters through this type of chelation rearrangement, which is known as Johnson chelation rearrangement. And here either propionic acid or KSF clay, they are used as catalyst for these types of conversions in presence of orthoesters as one of the substrates with allylic alcohol. In the first step, these orthoesters, they react with allylic alcohols to give us these types of allyl vinyl ethers as the intermediates, and these allyl vinyl ethers, they on heating, they are converted into gamma delta unsaturated carboxylic esters as the product. So this rearrangement requires temperature of the order of 100 to 200 degree centigrade, and the time required for this reaction to complete ranges from 10 to 120 hours. But if we perform this reaction under microwave conditions, then the rate of the reaction also increases, the yield of the reaction also improves, and we can complete the reaction in few minutes also. Then is acylation rearrangement. here these aminium salts, they act as substrates for these types of rearrangements. These aminium salts, in presence of n-butyl lithium, they are converted into these types of allyl, vinyl amines as the intermediates, and these undergo acylation rearrangement in presence of decalene to give us these types of oxazoles as the products, which are again gamma delta unsaturated oxazoles. They are formed as the product. And then is chain map reaction. Here this is also known as 3,3-phosphorimidate rearrangement, or this is also known as Stichinger-Claisen reaction. So all these names have been given because here only thing is instead of a normal 3,3 sigma rearrangement, we are using phosphite in place of an alcohol, and this is comparable to Stichinger reduction, which converts this alcohol to an amine. So these types of amines, they are formed as the product when in the first step these allylic alcohols, they react with the phosphite to give us these types of phosphate intermediates, and these phosphate intermediates they undergo Stichinger ligation to give us phosphorus nitrogen double bonded intermediates, and these undergo Claisen rearrangement to give us amines as the product. Then is Overman rearrangement. Here the allylic trichloroestamides, these are the allylic trichloroestamidates which are formed from the reaction of allyl alcohols with these types of trichloronitriles, and these trichloroestamidates they rearrange through Overman rearrangement on heating to allylic trichloroestamides. So these types of rearrangement, here what happens is this double bond creates a carbon nitrogen bond over here, a new carbon nitrogen bond is formed. This will go to this place, and this carbon oxygen bond will break from here to give us carbon carbon double bond. So this is how trichloroestamidates, they are converted into trichloroestamides as the product. So this is again a modification of Claisen rearrangement. Then next is zwitterionic Claisen rearrangement. These rearrangement they will take place either at room temperature or even below room temperature. Even at 0 degree they can take place. So here the acyl ammonium ions, they are highly selective for Z enolates under mild conditions. So these they react with acid halides to give us these types of zwitterionic intermediates, and these zwitterionic intermediates they undergo Claisen rearrangement to give us these types of gamma delta unsaturated amides as the product. Gamma delta unsaturated amides as the product. Then another rearrangement which is similar to Claisen rearrangement is Carroll rearrangement. So this involves the transformation of beta keto allyl esters. So these are beta keto allyl esters as the substrates, and these beta keto allyl esters in the presence of H ions and heating, they are converted into alpha allyl beta keto carboxylic acids as the product. Alpha allyl beta keto carboxylic acids, these are alpha allyl beta keto carboxylic acids as the product, and these products on heating undergo decarboxylation to give us gamma delta allyl ketones as the final product through ketoenol tautomerism. And this decarboxylative alkylation is known as Carroll rearrangement. These are the various references which have been used for preparing this lecture. Thank you very much.